Hi, I'm Alex Pollack. Today I'm going to demonstrate my teaching of 3 different SAT problems in the SAT English section. We're going to look at sentence completion, we're going to look at improving the sentence, and finally we're going to close with a short reading passage. Before we get going, I'm going to go ahead and put up the sentence completion example on the screen. Sentence completion, number 8. After David left him waiting for the 3rd consecutive time, Kirk realized that the same behavior he had initially valued as spontaneous and carefree was in fact simply blank. Alright, so before we take a look at our 5 answer choices, are there any key words that are jumping out at you here?
Spontaneous and carefree.
Spontaneous and carefree, those are the key words here. So do you think we're looking for the answer that's similar to those words or the opposite?
Similar.
Great, great. So which one of these answers are similar? Let's break it down. So you can go ahead and take a look at your answer choices there.
Alright, so I'll start with D. Definitely does not belong here. Captivating.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
nothing
captivating,
to do with
right?
it, yeah. And extraneous.
So what do you think extraneous means? What word in extraneous looks familiar to you?
Extra.
Yeah, extra, right? Extraneous. So extraneous means too much of something.
Right.
Right? So how about the other answers? We knocked off the extraneous, we knocked down captivating. What else?
Inconvertible does not belong here
incontrovertible,
either.
right?
Incontrovertible.
So even though that's kind of a tough word and we might not know the exact definition, we know it doesn't really belong here.
No.
Right?
No.
We usually use it in the legal course, incontrovertible evidence. It's not in association with this talk about 2 friends. So what are we left with?
We have 2 left. Capricious and inscrutable.
Alright, capricious and inscrutable. So how about, let's look at inscrutable first. Do you know what inscrutable means?
Not really.
Okay, not really. But let's try to break it down. Maybe we know the definition of a word inside that word. How about scrutinize?
Oh yeah, sure. Scrutinize.
So what does scrutinize mean?
Being too harsh, going into too many details.
Exactly, right? So if you scrutinize something, you go into a lot of detail, you kind of examine it, right?
Yeah,
so
makes
if something's scrutable, it means you can go into a lot of details. But how if something's inscrutable?
Oh, so you cannot.
Right? So does that fit?
No,
into
it does
the
not.
relationship?
Oh, definitely A then.
Right? So we're left with A. So even if we don't know what A means, process of elimination gives us that. And just for future reference, capricious means you're doing something on a whim. You're very unpredictable. So it's a more extreme version.
It makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Of spontaneous and carefree. All right, great job, Kira. Now we're going to take a look at it in improving the sentence example. And we're going to put up that on the screen before we get into it. Alright, improving the sentence, number 9. So about 35% of the world's orange juice is produced by Florida, compared with Brazil, comma, the world's largest orange producer, comma, which has nearly 50%. Alright, Kira, so this one is kind of a tricky one, right? Because what I just said, does that sound okay?
But I guess it sounds okay.
Yeah, it does sound okay, so we're going to leave that as one of our potential answers.
Cool.
A, even if we're not 100% sure about it, we'll leave it for now. How about B? Brazil with nearly 50%, comma, it is the world's largest orange producer.
No.
Yeah, that one just,
definitely
that one's one of those ones SAT gives us where it just rolls off our tongue wrong sometimes. And when we look at the grammar, we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's the percent. We don't know if it's Brazil. So we can knock out B. Alright, so let's take a look at C. With nearly 50% that are produced. Actually, before I finish the answer there, something about that is a little off. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's that is.
Good, right? Because percent is singular,
right.
It's not plural. So bam, we bounce C out of our way.
Cool.
D, the production of Brazil, comma. Again, hold the phone. What's going on there? Does that sound right?
No, definitely does not sound right.
Yeah, definitely is correct. The production of Brazil. We're not talking about Brazil being created as a country. We're talking about orange juice and how that's being produced. So finally we're down to E, right? We still have A in the back of our heads. E says compared with nearly 50% produced by Brazil, the world's largest orange producer?
It actually sounds good.
Right? It sounds good, but
Yeah.
the interesting thing here is, why does it sound good? It's okay if you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, the reason why it sounds good is a concept called parallel structure, also called parallelism. That's when both sides of the sentence kind of match, right?
Oh.
So if we put that in there, our final completed sentence would be, about 35% of the world's orange juice is produced by Florida, compared with nearly 50% produced by Brazil, right? We have kind of a mirror effect going on, right? We have the 35% in the front of the sentence, nearly 50% later, produced by Florida, later in the sentence produced by Brazil.
I see.
That's what we call parallel structure, when a noun and the verb, they kind of match each other on both sides of the sentence. And the SAT loves looking for that. They love looking for those mirror effects. They love looking for parallel structure.
Actually, I can recognize that, yeah.
That's something that it sounds good to our ears oftentimes, but even when it doesn't sound great to our ears, we can recognize it grammatically by looking for parallel structure. Finally, we're going to take a look at a short reading passage. And now I'm going to put that up on the screen so you can take a look at it. What was most likely the original purpose of the human appendix? Experts can only theorize on its use. It may have had the same purpose it has in present-day herbivores, where it harbors colonies of bacteria that help in the digestion of cellulose. Another theory suggests that tonsils in the appendix might manufacture the antibody-producing white blood cells, called B lymphocytes. However, B lymphocytes could also be produced by bone marrow. The third theory is that the appendix may attract infection in one spot that is not critical to body functioning. Alright, so that's a mouthful, right? That seems like something we should give to the doctors we know rather than the high school students we know. However, the SAT likes to give us these kind of tough-sounding passages, but the questions themselves aren't terribly difficult. Let's just get that out of the way so we won't feel overwhelmed. So, number 10, the question asks us, how does the theory described in lines 3 to 7 primarily differ from the other two theories described in the passage? Right? So having read the passage carefully, we can say we're talking about 3 different theories.
Right.
And the one discussed in lines 3 through 7 is this one. And I'll have Kira read that right now.
It may have had the same purpose it has it in present-day herbivores, where it harbors colonies of bacteria that help in the digestion of cellulose.
All right?
Oh, mouthful.
So, yeah, it is a mouthful, right? So, first of all, what are herbivores? Are herbivores plants? Are they animals?
No, I think it's not plants, it's animals.
Good. So that means we can, which answer can we eliminate right off the bat?
A.
Yeah, A, right? So it
Yeah.
can't pertain only to plants because we just had animals. And also, before I go further, only, right? Only is one of those warning signs on the SAT.
Right.
Whenever there's a word like only or most or every, it might be right, but chances are it's getting very extreme, and SAT sometimes shies away from those extreme declarations. Are there any other answers we can, are there any silly answers here that the SAT is just putting to confuse us?
C.
Yeah, right? So
Yeah.
C is kind of silly because it says it's a theory supported by more experts in the field than other 2 theories. There's nothing in here about more experts agreeing with one theory or another, so we can knock out C. So that leaves us with just a few answers left. So I'll let you take a look at those, and what do you think is the correct answer? Can you break it down from here?
Well, it doesn't sound like prevention, and herbivores are animals, so it would be E, right?
Excellent job, Kira. It would be E.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
Yay.
So getting the hang of it, right? Even though,
yeah.
even though
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of big words here, right? And I actually have a funny story about this one. My father, who's a doctor, I gave him this one to try, and he was having a lot of trouble because he was looking at whether the theories are real, right? Whether they're actually great medical science. So he had some problems because he was saying that one's not factually correct, and I was telling him, Dad, right? It's SAT. We're not looking at facts. We're looking at reading strategies and how to take it apart. So it's just a little anecdote to end this lesson on. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.